Erica, you want to talk about the format of the midterm? Well, there will be about 20 terms in which I will give you the definition and you can fill those out, fill those in. I'll have you a word bank that'll have a few more terms on it than the actual 20, just to keep you honest. And then I'll have probably 5 short answer questions. And I'm going to start putting the study guides online right now, starting today, because I'm way behind on the videos. So I hope that answers your question, Erica. Let me know if it does. Great, that's great. I want to talk a little bit about the essay that's due, so we will be working on that during this kind of a live stream event. I want to work on that, so let's take a look at the essay question. All right, you're going to be reading Solomon's article this weekend, and by the way, I did grade your last discussion board to kind of give you an idea of what to expect. So take a look at those and see how you did. Most of you did really well. All right, so you're going to be reading Solomon's article this week, and so what you need to do is look at the question for the essay and say, okay, we're going to be critiquing his approach by using Sally McFay's article. We'll focus this week on Norman's approach. And then when you get to Sally McFay's argument, that's when you need to see what I mean by approach. She gives you 2 ways of looking at the world, and then your best bet is to determine which of those 2 views Solomon's argument fits in. I hope that helps. I'm going to take a look at the chat real quick and see what's going on. So Teresa said, I have a question. I was wondering whether the midterm is mainly going to be on the textbook. It is, Teresa, it's exclusively the textbook. I will give you a video for Christianity that will also be found on the midterm. So I'll be posting that shortly, and that there will be a question from that video just to kind of keep you honest. So no questions about subverting greed. Subverting greed we're dealing with mainly on the discussion boards. And if you have questions, you can always email me or put a question in the Q&A cafe and help all of us out as you post that question. No, there will not be anything on the midterm that's not on the study guides. So I'll be releasing a study guide after every chapter, and so I have to catch up real quickly, which I can do today, and that way you'll have a study guide for each chapter, and the midterm will only be on those questions in the study guide. Good question. All right, anybody else out there? Feel free to chime in on the discussion board or the chat here. You're welcome. All right. Now I am recording this, so I will go ahead and post it to my YouTube account, but only those students who are putting a comment here will be able to get the extra point. But you can review this, and if you have any questions about the essay or the midterm, you can always look back at this, and hopefully you'll have to sift through a lot of me going, what's working now? But hopefully it'll help for you. I've got a question for you then. How is it going? Is the homework about what you would expect? Is it too much? What are you learning? What's the best part of the course? Whatever you want to answer, it's your turn to answer. Your turn to answer a question. All right, we've got somebody else. That's great. What question do you want to answer? Have you guys ever done this? Has a professor ever gone live and tried to answer your questions like this? Anybody? Come on, guys, you can type faster than that. Great, Erica. Glad you're collaborating with the other students on the homework. So you're working together to with two screens going on at the same time, or what's going on? For me, what's most important is that you learn. Okay, good. No, the writer of chapter 5 is Norman Solomon. He is trying to provide you with the Jewish perspective on globalization. And so one of the problems that some students, when they are comparing and contrasting the two essays, is that sometimes they'll say, well, Solomon is arguing from the Jewish scriptures and McFay is arguing from the New Testament scriptures. Well, that's kind of a given. That was the charge for each of these chapters, that each writer would be giving a perspective from their tradition. So that you can't hold that against them. But what's interesting is it's a perspective from their religion. As you may have noticed, there are a lot of perspectives from each tradition. I got to put my glasses on now. Great. Am I helping you out a little bit here, Ashley? I hope so. Let me know. You guys are giving me really good input, and I appreciate it. And again, I also appreciate it if you come by my office and we can talk face to face. There are a couple of issues that I have not gotten around to yet. A student last week or this week came in with a problem on a quiz question that she thought was wrong, and I'm reviewing that. I took a picture of it with my cell phone, and I'm looking at that. So if it's wrong, I'm going to have to go through everybody's homework and or quiz and give you credit for it, because the questions are all random. So some of you will have it as question 1, some will have it as question 2, but others won't even have that question. So it's going to be kind of a pain for me, but I want to make sure you get all the points that you need to get. Another question, please answer quickly. Is there lag time between what you're hearing and the video? I'm wondering how that's working. I know I've got a 5-second delay on the video. Am I actually talking? So I just want to make sure, see how the video is going. Great. I appreciate that you can hear me perfectly and it's syncing and everything, so hopefully that's going to work. Yeah, the lag time in your comments is because there's a 5-second delay on the stream. So That way, if any of you wanted to say anything inappropriate, I would have to scramble and then try to somehow delete it. I don't know how to do that, but so don't do that. All right. Yes, Ashley, Solomon is a Jewish rabbi and theologian, so he is using Judaism as a framework for viewing the global economy. Now, some of his solutions are specifically tied to his religious tradition, the idea of the Jubilee and those kinds of things. While those probably aren't very practical, he is trying to show you that there is the idea of justice in the Jewish tradition and giving you that Jewish perspective. Any other questions going on? Hopefully I can take this video down and edit it and cut out all the awkward silences, because it might be okay when you're watching it live, but I'm sure if you're rewatching this it can get a little bit boring. Conferencing you on the papers. What we can do is Skype. I do have my Skype account up and running, except not right now. But you can always Skype me during office hours. But you know, one of the things that's really easy for you guys is that since we don't meet at the 1 o'clock hour, you can always come in and meet with me then, and I'd be glad to talk to you about it. It's not a problem. I want you to do well, and I want to try to make this as painless as possible and help you navigate this course and learn as much as you can without a lot of extra stress. I'm going to open Skype now just because I did not know it was not open. So now my Skype screen is down there and I can see when you guys are calling me. So if you want to do that, that's okay. Oh, Ashley, that's a great question. Let me read it with my glasses on. In regards to our papers, would you say you're a pretty tough grader? What are the things students typically miss in regards to their papers? That's a great question, and you're going to learn a lot from what I'm saying right now because I get to deal with those things before the papers are turned in. One of the problems is that there seems to be this kind of set idea that a paper needs a strong introduction and a strong conclusion and all of that. This is really just answering a couple of questions. So sometimes students will give this long introduction, and introductions are hard to write, right? And it's really a waste of time. What you need to do is just simply answer the question. However, that's not as simple as it sounds, right? So sometimes students will, some problems that students have are that they will spend 2.5 pages just simply providing the positions of the two authors. And then like in a paragraph, they'll say, well, this is the answer to the question, which is the critique of Solomon based on McFay's views. And so what I would say is you can provide, you can do it, the form doesn't matter as long as it's clear. There are paragraphs that show you're at one point or at another point, and that you understand the material. So I use a rubric. One says grammar. I think I'm a hard grader, but not too hard. But I don't like grammatical issues and spelling issues. I mean, come on, we need to be above that. And that slows down my reading, and when I slow down my reading, or if there's anything confusing in the paper, that's going to be an issue with the grade. But what I think is good, you could say start with McFay's major premises or the major argument that she has, and you don't have to get into her really at the end of her article. She talks about ways to promote her second model. You don't have to get into that. What you have to do is make sure that you've outlined those two models, and that when you look at Solomon's view, you're going to contrast what his view is. First of all, you have to say, okay, what model is he using? And the good thing is, you can use McFay's, let's say, the first model that she talks about. If she doesn't like it, which is probably true, if she doesn't like it, then she's going to say some negative things about it. And if Solomon holds that view, then you can use her critiques against that particular model on his view. Hope that makes sense. If he takes the second view and she likes the second view, then you can say Solomon, you have to strongly argue that Solomon has either of those models, right? And then you can use her arguments for that model to positively critique. Critique doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing, right? You can provide a critique and of something, and it can be a positive thing. Hope this wasn't too long of an answer for you, Ashley, but I really want you guys to do well. And those are the problems that students, I believe students have. What I'll do is, after you have your discussion board on McFay, what I'll do is I'll look through, and as I grade them, I will point out a couple of students that seem to really get it. And then you can go to their Blackboard site and read what they say, and that should help you a lot, because these are difficult readings and some students get it a little bit more than others, and that's why I have the Blackboard discussions, because I want you guys to learn from each other, help each other out, because that's what we're supposed to do as Xavier writes, or human beings. All right, did that help? Anybody? I know. Type quickly, because I want to see how much lag time I have here. Another thing that you can do to help me out, you might want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also if you give me likes or a comment about a video, I think that would be helpful for me, just to know if I'm on target. So good. I'm glad that helped. It's approaching 1:30, so I thought this might take about 30 minutes or so. And by my clock it's 1:25. So type away, ask questions. I'll be glad to answer any questions you have. Oh, none of you have answered the question, have any other professors done this in a class for you guys? Yeah? No? That's an easy one. Ah, there we go. That was quick. No, I didn't think so. I will share this experience with my other colleagues who teach online. Yeah, I'm cutting edge there, huh? Great. Well, I hope it's worth your time. Yeah, I think it's pretty neat too. It kind of lets you attend the class time, even if you're, you're at home or whatever. Oh, I hate Blackboard Collaborate. I don't know that that should be on video. Hopefully, I can edit that out. But it's difficult. You've got 5 or 6 people trying to talk at one time, and it's tough. It is a little bit frustrating for me that I can't get input from you right away. There's a little lag time, but I Collaborate's tough. It's tough for students to get into. So I think that to me was the problem. The first 2 Blackboard Collaborate trainings I had, it took us 30 minutes to get logged in, and I said, you know what? I think students have better use of their time than to do this. K Street, in terms of difficulty, are you talking about Blackboard Collaborate? Is that the problem? In one of our trainings, I did the first training at the Center for the Advancement of Teaching, and the next one I did at home. And interestingly enough, the person that did the next training did it from the same computer. And so my icon was up, and she was talking and typing in as me, and then I was signed in as me, and so it was really kind of a mess. So I'm not crazy about Collaborate, but yeah, okay, well, good. All right, it's almost 1:30. We're running out of time here. If there's anybody out there that just kind of logged in, please send some sort of question or in the live chat section so that I can give you your point for doing this. I really think we learn a lot when we come into face-to-face courses, and I really like to do that. But also remember that most of the time I am on Skype, so if there are individual questions, you can do that, and I think that's helpful as well. Yeah, this is the awkward silence. I think I'm going to have to edit out of the video. I hope I can do that. All right, you guys have a great day. I've got 1:30. That was kind of my goal, is to go 30 minutes, and hopefully answered all your questions. If you still have questions, you can come in anytime during my office hours or Skype me. And this has been kind of fun, so let me know what you think about it. Shoot me an email or something. If you want to give me suggestions about what I need to be doing or could do to make this better, let me know. So y'all have a great day. See ya.